This is Saturday Morning Mysteries.
And we're your hosts, Alexis and Grace.
Hello, and good Saturday morning or whatever morning, evening, afternoon, day, time you're listening to this. Welcome back to Saturday Morning Mysteries, where we are your hosts. I'm Grace.
And I'm Alexis.
And we are back for another episode, our fourth episode, halfway mark of our Wild Thornberries arc, which is crazy.
No, totally Spies.
Oh my God, Jesus Christ. Okay.
We were just talking about Wild Thornberries naturally right before we hit record. Reminiscing.
Here are the things. This is our first recording of the day, and already before recording, I was like, "Yeah, I'm in a totally mindset instead of totally spies mindset." And then I was, instead of saying, "Okay, are you ready to record?" I said, "Okay, are you ready to interview?" Like it's going bad here, people.
Grace is it's early. It's 11:50 a.m. East Coast Eastern time. Grace is on Pacific. It's early.
I stopped drinking coffee only a week ago, so it's been rough. I don't know what we're doing. Where are we?
Me neither.
Take it away.
Shoot, I should maybe open my script up.
Make sure it's the right one. No, all right. We're on our totally Spies arc, and I totally knew that and remembered that.
It's just the timing of that was perfect. I wish that people could see or hear what we were talking about right before we hit record, because it's just literally like Grace was like, "Okay, good thing you're going first, Alexis, because I can't speak today." And bada boom.
And I had been just talking about our Wild Thornberries arc, but namely Tim Curry as Nigel, and how happy that still made me. And I guess I was still thinking about it. Tim Curry trumps all.
We love him so much.
Yeah, but we do have another British man in Totally Spies. We got Jerry, voiced by I don't know fuck who. So I'm just gonna stop talking.
I think,
Bert, take it away.
Cool. All right, I will. I'm gonna take it on away. So, another episode of Totally Spies, our fourth episode. Can't believe we're already halfway through this arc. They always go so fast. They grow up so quickly. But today, this episode, it is, we're still sticking with season 1 on my end, and it's episode 7, entitled The Fugitives. So, which in Totally Spies world could mean a whole lots of things. So, the episode begins precisely at 11:09 a.m. in Phoenix, Arizona, at the Bank of Phoenix.
Okay.
And it seems to be a pretty normal day in this happy-go-lucky bank until we see Sam, Clover, and Alex, our protagonists, the Totally Spies, the spies. They walk in and they're fully decked out in their spy gear, like those cat suits. So they all walk up to this bank teller at this Bank of Phoenix. And, bank teller, again, happy-go-lucky. He's like, how can I help you? What's going on, ladies? And they're like, this is actually a robbery. They whip out all these high-tech gadgets and they rob the bank blind before making a clean exit. Yeah. So I'm like, what? Huh? That's very uncharacteristic of our three protagonists. Yeah, take the money and go. Oh, but they do make sure to pose and smile for the camera, say cheese for the security cameras on their way out, so that it is clear that they are the culprits or perhaps the fugitives.
Okay.
So we then go back to Beverly Hills, and it's 10:35 a.m. And at first I was a little confused by this, but then I was like, oh, wait, that's right. Something that you and I just alluded to, time zones. Phoenix, I think is I was like, I think Phoenix is central, so that would make sense. They're about an hour apart.
Depends on the time of year because they don't have daylight savings.
Oh, that's true. I don't know what time of year it is, but we'll just pretend that whatever. It's the time of year when they are 1 year. Right? Because so it's 10:35 a.m. AKA, I guess 11:35 a.m. Phoenix time, but now we're in Beverly Hills. The girls are at school. As per usual, we've got Clover trying to impress some new boy who is from, I think, Texas, and she's wearing this very bright I'll say, in flashy, literally flashy, like Lone Star shirt. It's got the Lone Star, but it's like lighting up.
Oh my
Probably totally a fire hazard.
Girl, desperate.
Very desperate. And Clover and Mindy happen to be wearing her nemesis.
Wait, Mindy or Mandy?
I thought it was Mindy. Maybe it is Mandy. I don't know.
I think
it sounded
Mandy, and then I think later on there's a Mindy.
I think you're right.
Like
it is
her
Mandy.
Cousin or twin or something.
Yeah. Okay. My bad. Mandy, the nemesis in their high school, who Clover is always fighting over boys with. She walks in and she's wearing the exact same outfit because they're both trying to impress this Texas boy. And it's just straight up like disco cowgirl. Like they've got spurs and chaps on in addition to this light up shirt. Like, I'm not sure that that's really his vibe, but okay, whatever. Okay. So Clover and Mandy are arguing about this, wearing the same outfit and who gets to date this guy. But after Mandy and her friends walk away to go to class, a literal whole wall of lockers just like flies open. Like not subtle at all. It sucks the girls right in, portaling them
so
directly
loud
to WOOHP HQ. It would be so loud. Like not only the lockers like separating from the wall and like slamming back, the fucking noise from the portal, like sucking them in. The girls are screaming when it happens.
Yeah, not subtle. You're right.
Not at all subtle. So they get to the WOOHP HQ. But it's a little different from any other episode we've done so far. They don't just land in Jerry's office. This time, they land in this like high-tech jail cell of sorts that has electric shock barriers and is kind of like elevated on a platform so that they are like looking down at Jerry and all of these other WOOHP agents that are surrounding him, like Men in Black style, all black suits, black sunglasses, like arms crossed. And the girls are just trapped inside. And so they're super confused. Naturally, yeah, because this would be terrifying. And also because they're like, what the hell? Are we not getting a mission after all? And so the girls ask Jerry what's going on. And Jerry says that these girls, they should know what all of this is about. And he plays the security footage from the Bank of Phoenix that clearly shows the girls robbing it earlier that morning. I guess it'd be like 30 minutes ago. So yeah. I would be more
how's this making sense?
Exactly. Like I know WOOHP has some pretty good technology, but like, do they have a jet that can get you to Arizona from Phoenix to Beverly Hills in 30 minutes? No, it had to be less than 30 minutes too. Yeah, like they had to change clothes. They had to hide the money. It's not adding up. None of this is adding up. But nonetheless, Jerry is relying on this footage and saying that you guys apparently have gone down some dark route and, now you've got to be punished. I'm super disappointed in you.
Oh, man.
And Alex is like, no, like this, it's not us. This is a sick joke. We had nothing to do with this. We were literally just at school. But Jerry, like I said, he ain't falling for it. He doesn't believe them. Exactly. It's be damned, evidence be damned. So Jerry orders the other secret agents that are surrounding them to take the girls to a proper holding cell until they, aka WOOHP, gets a chance to reprogram them, quote unquote. And when the girls ask what that means, it gets fucking dark, Grace. When the girls ask what that means, one of the secret agents is like, we're just going to plant a behavioral modification chip in each of your brains so that you girls will never have an aggressive thought again.
Oh my God.
Which like, okay, it would be nice to like not have aggressive thoughts, I suppose, although it's totally natural, but like, that's what therapy is for.
This is like reverse MK Ultra.
Yeah, exactly. Literally. Like, plant a chip to calm you down. MK minor, hell yeah. So the girls are like, so the agents come in, they like deactivate the cell.
Sorry, is it just a lobotomy?
Go ahead. Yes, and one of the girls calls it that later, actually, which is hilarious. Yes, practically. I mean, It kind of like the effects, yeah.
Yeah.
It's not physically like shoving a
No, we're not gonna talk about
whatever.
it.
Yeah, we're not gonna talk about it.
Ice
It's
pick in the
fucking
eye.
gross. But like the effects are supposed to be the same.
Okay.
So the agents, they deactivate this electric barrier, whatever, this holding cell, and they drag the girls out, literally like carrying them over their shoulders and dragging them. The girls are screaming, telling Jerry to stop this and like that, he's wrong, he's mistaken. But again, evidence be damned. So these agents put them into an even more high-tech jail cell with this like massive electromagnetic dome surrounding it. And they place these extremely large and heavy electromagnetic boots on the girls' feet to keep them from like using their legs or anything to make an escape. Like they pretty much are just stuck in place. These boots are like magnetized to the floor.
Oh God.
So
that's
girls,
scary.
Super scary.
I don't like this.
And naturally, I was watching this episode like, oh, am I sure I want to do this one?
Also, because like no one knows where they are. Their families don't know.
Nope. Their families think they're at school. I guess maybe. So I've seen I remember WOOHP having like body doubles or like robots of them that they would like put into school or like holograms or something, like whenever they're on missions, to like make it look like they're in class or something. But like I don't know if WOOHP did this now, or they're not on a mission technically. Like I don't know.
Their parents are gonna hug them eventually, and it's gonna be a hologram.
Maybe. I don't know. It is Beverly Hills after all.
They won't.
Will they really?
Right, I take it back. You're correct.
So anyway, like us though, the girls are freaking out and they're super confused at this point, equally about how ugly these electromagnetic boots are, but also about how much it's going to suck having a chip implanted into their brains. So they're like, all right, well, we need to figure out how to get out of here and find whoever the real bank robbers are so that we can clear our names. They're, looking around this electromagnetic dome, though, this massive high-tech jail cell, essentially, and they're trying to figure out how to get out. And Sam comes up with a great idea. She like goes up to Clover, like shuffles her way over in these heavy-ass boots. And remember I said Clover had that literally like light-up shirt on?
Oh my God.
He like rips batteries out of the back of like Clover's shirt or something like that, hardwires them in with the boots, which like short circuits them. Yeah. And actually shuts down at least the boots and the electromagnetic dome.
Damn, it should not be that easy to break out of this
the only thing though is like there is still a dome. It's just not magnetized now. So they are still in this like bubble. But Alex then has a great idea where she literally takes Clover's shoes. Remember, she's wearing like cowgirl boots with spurs and just like scores the dome itself. It's really hilarious. Clover's looking at it like, oh, wow, these boots are awesome. Like, who knew that they could actually kind of crack glass? And she turns around and Sam and Alex are just like running full speed with a bench from the jail cell, like directly at her. She like dives out of the way at the last minute and they just fucking like smash that shit right through.
They're starting a prison riot.
A prison riot. They are full out rogue agents at this point. Like they're running free. They're getting the hell out of there. So they book it out. And some WOOHP agents do see them, and they immediately like call for backup, start ringing the alarm, saying it's like a level 9 emergency. These girls are fucking dangerous. Level 9. I'm assuming there's only 10 levels.
Like it's not looking good. No. If they get the weapons in hand, it's an 11. Oh and no!
Their next stop, the girls duck into a weapons lab.
WOOHP, what are you doing?
They literally just start grabbing anything and everything that they can. They're like, like just grab everything. Sam's like, just get it. Just anything is going to help.
Holy shit.
And so Jerry and a few other agents, they walk into this weapons lab and they corner the girls in there. But the girls, already being good spies and now having all these weapons, are easily able to fight them off. And then they just continue their escape out of WOOHP HQ. So Even more badass and even more leaning into rogue agent status, they go to the vehicle compound, straight up steal a jet,
Oh my God.
break into this shit. It's got controls everywhere. They're just like, oh, we don't even know how to drive this. Like,
Oh
what do we do?
no.
Or how to fly this? But they just
Look
take
at
off.
this is
They
not
take
helping their
off.
case
No, it's not at
at all.
all. And like
Okay.
Jerry tries to like jump up into the plane on their way out. He's like hanging off of the edge of it as they're flying off, but then they like turn it up and he just like falls right. One of the agents below catches him, thankfully, but still it's like, dude, they're
Go
out for
rogue.
blood. This is how much they need to clear their names. They're like willing to kill Jerry to show that they didn't rob this bank
Yeah,
and to
like
not get a chip implanted in their
girls, you
brain
could have just waited till they investigated slightly more, like for the next 30 minutes when they check your Beverly Hills school security cameras
and see
and
like
show
you were
that
there
you,
the whole time.
yeah.
But to be fair, to give the girls some, to side with them a little bit, it didn't seem like WOOHP was going to investigate further. Like they were wheeling in the like
Oh, it was
chairs
a
to
done
like
deal.
strap these. Yeah, it was a done deal. Like
Oh,
they were
okay.
ready to implant these brain chips. It's like very questionable on WOOHP's behalf. There, like
Great. Good.
for a spy agency and an investigative agency, you guys really aren't really looking into this at all.
Yikes.
So
Okay.
anyway, now that they're fully rogue agents, they've hijacked this jet from WOOHP HQ. It's crazy. They immediately head for Phoenix to further investigate. And they land in this warehouse, which hilariously, it's like a fish warehouse. Like you just see these big vats of fish sitting out,
Phoenix?
which in Phoenix. And the girls are like, it smells terrible in here. Like this is
it's all probably
gross.
rotting fish because it's Phoenix.
Literally. Yeah. Like just
Ugh.
out in the sun.
Ugh.
And they are again not subtle whatsoever, though. Rather than landing the jet right next to the warehouse and walking in, Alex, who like does not know how to fly this thing, just like crashes through the ceiling, wrecking the whole place.
It's going to be front page news. They're going to know you guys are in.
They're going to like, but with the way that this jet looks, since it's so high tech and this is very topical right now, like people are going to think it's like a UFO or some shit, like crashing into your house. Like,
oh God,
the military's about to move in to figure out what the hell is going on.
Oh God.
So anyway, the girls, they're in this warehouse. They decide to camp out there to do their recon and investigate further. And they start like going through the inventory of the various gadgets that they've stolen from WOOHP HQ. And they're messing around with them to see what exactly they can do or what they can find out about the robbery using them. And they realize that one of the things they've taken is like a satellite. They're stolen, I should say, let's be real, from WOOHP is a satellite dish. It's like a little compact one. So they link that satellite up to the WOOHP mainframe. And then they link it up to their other little, super easy. WOOHP is not secure whatsoever. And also you think that they would immediately like revoke all like, clearances or access for these three girls, not only because they've allegedly committed a crime, but because they've gone rogue
they
now.
Have committed crimes.
Yeah, now they have. So they like link all these things up and they're able to, again, hack into the mainframe and access Jerry's files. And they review the bank security footage from the robbery earlier that day. And while they're looking at it, they zoom in on Clover, or her imposter in particular. And they notice that when she was leaving the bank, she brushes against a cactus that's like sitting by the door. And some of her skin, or like her suit and skin, peeled off and stuck to the plant. So the girls see this, they're like, ew, that's kind of gross. But they wonder if the skin sample is still there. So they're like, all right, well, let's go undercover. Let's go check out this bank and see if we can find the skin sample. And we'll bring it back here to figure out, like, for further analysis. So this is where this is where, their spymanship kind of goes for a less professional turn.
They need WOOHP to help them
They
to
go
help disguise
undercover.
them usually.
Yeah. I don't know where these costumes were from.
Just went to
If
Party
there's
City.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what it looks like.
Oh God.
Because Sam and Clover dress up as this like aristocratic couple, but maybe not aristocratic. Maybe that's not the word to use. It's like a Kentucky Derby
Oh my God.
couple. Like Sam Phoenix. Sam is the husband. She's wearing this like tan suit with a hat, like a derby hat, and this like thin red mustache, and her hair is just like tucked up in the hat.
Oh my God.
And Clover is wearing like a blue ball gown.
Oh my God.
But like doesn't have anything covering her face. Like she just has pulled her hair back and like into an updo. So it's like visibly her.
Oh God. Okay.
And Alex is dressed up as their driver in like a full navy like chauffeur suit or whatever with like sunglasses and a driver's cap and like high boots.
Oh my God.
It's like, also, why are you wearing this in Phoenix? You guys have got to all be freaking like sweating right now.
Sweating bullets. Like this is your faces are clearly all yours.
Yeah, like you guys look like teenage girls in costume. For like, is there a play going on at the high school?
Yeah, that local high school.
Yeah.
Oh God. Okay. Great.
But
I gotta get Stanley Chan in here.
The true master of disguise. He could teach them a thing or two, or like 5 at this point. So everyone in the bank seems to be like kind of back to normal after the high key traumatic morning that they've all had. But when Sam and Clover approach the teller's desk, they're like pretending to inquire about opening an account for their stocks or their municipal bonds or whatever. Like clearly these girls know nothing about banking and finance.
Nope.
And so the bank teller is like super suspicious. Like, wait, what?
And he's also probably like, haven't I seen you before?
That's literally what he says. He's like, I feel like I've met you somewhere before. That's literally exactly what he says. And so Sam and Clover are like, no, we're from like a faraway country. You've never heard of it, blah, blah, blah. And meanwhile, while Sam and Clover are like distracting the bank teller, Alex is like snooping around this cactus to like find that skin sample that the Clover imposter left behind. And so Alex finds the sample. She like signals over to the girls. And they like start to make their way out of the bank, like, oh, never mind. Like, guess we gotta go. Sorry, haha. Like, we don't want that account after all. But Sam's mustache falls off as she's leaving, and the workers and security guards look at her like, wait a minute.
Oh my God.
You guys are the ones that robbed the bank early. Thankfully, though, the girls, they book it out of there before the guards can catch them.
Good,
so
but
like,
also Jesus.
Also, like, way too close. Way too close. You're about to have WOOHP is already on you.
Yeah.
Whoever these imposters are probably on you. You also don't want the Phoenix PD like like chasing you down now. It's not good. So the girls, they head back to this warehouse, this fishy, stinky warehouse to run tests on the skin sample. And they realize that it's actually a type of fabric that also contains traces of human DNA, thus giving it like the feeling and texture of actual human flesh.
Gross.
Yes, gross. But the girls, they continue their analysis of this sample, skin fabric sample, and they see that the DNA coding contains proprietary technology owned by a company called Replitech Industries. So the girls, again, using all the gadgets they've stolen, they go through the WOOHP database to see anything that the agency has on this Replitech company. And they find out that it's a medical lab that created the material being used as skin.
The skin fabric?
Yes, skin fabric, which also like, that's what you found out by like seeing the DNA coding.
You knew they made skin fabric.
Yeah, why else would their name be like on the DNA code, whatever. Okay,
That's
cool.
some like Ed Gein shit, like
Yeah.
skin fabric.
Also true. If he was like a billionaire and could invest in this like medical laboratory.
Skin fabric for all.
Yes, it's good for you. And for me, ew. So the girls though, they are able to like get the address, or the coordinates is probably the better. It's like an address. 123 Replatech Way. Like
One, two, three, we'll skin you alive way.
way. So the girls, they hop back into the jet and they go to investigate the company.
Subtle.
Sam drives this time.
Doesn't
Though.
WOOHP
Like,
also definitely have a GPS on this jet?
we'll get to that in a minute. A tracking device.
Yes,
You
tracker.
may.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
We'll get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. As we should.
That was also my first thought. That was like, what I mean, you guys don't know how to fly this thing, so you definitely don't know how to turn off any like tracking devices in there. So, but yeah, just put a pin in that.
Okay, done.
So the girls, they arrive at it's actually not 123 we'll skin you alive way. It's actually just called Replatech Island at about
It's an island.
It's an island.
Okay.
And they get there in the afternoon, 3:20 p.m. So they've gone through an entire school day at this point. So the holograms are heading home. We'll see. We'll see if the parents try to hug them.
Oh, they won't.
Just like robotic walking back into their houses.
They're just like, the when you're like making a character out of in a video game, and they're just like hovering while you like make their features.
Yeah.
That's what they're just doing like in the living room.
Choose your outfit. Just like wobbling from side to side.
Oh, hello, Clover dear. Parents go back to the office.
They don't even say anything, just like
just wobbling.
Okay, looks like you had a good day at school, honey. I'll see you later. But yeah, so they get to Replatech Island, and yes, you said it best. You're like, oh, an island, because let me tell you, this island, speaking of video games, it looks like something straight out of Super Smash Bros. or even like freaking Game of Thrones, or in real life, perhaps like Mont Saint Michel in France, if you've ever seen a picture of that, or Toss.
You said that so beautifully again.
Just saying, I've been there too. It's beautiful in Lower Normandy. But no, but this place, it's massive. It's pretty much just a stone castle on this small green plot in the middle of some ocean or some body of water, with massive cliffs like supporting the building from underneath, and that are just like surrounding the entire castle. It's intense.
And they are subtly approaching.
They are subtly approaching in their bright pink WOOHP jet. I did not mention it's bright pink. Yep. Subtle.
Okay.
But I will also add, for folks who either watch Marvel movies or read Marvel comics, there is also a pinch of Wakanda going on here, wherein, and I'll explain that for you, Grace.
Yeah, I haven't watched any Marvel movies.
And perhaps lots of other people listening or watching. Yep. There is this invisible force field that surrounds the castle that is pretty much like a metal detector. So anything that's metal can't enter without like alarms going off. And so the girls, they notice this, like they can kind of see like the hue of this force field, but they see like birds are flying through fine, and they're like, okay, so it must just like be like a metal detector essentially. So they realize that they've got to like fly the jet up over and like lower one of the girls in so that they can like get into the castle and like get some footage of what's going on in there. Okay. And of course it happens to be Alex, who is like wrote down.
Okay.
And it works, so it doesn't set off the alarm because their guesses were correct. It is like strictly for detecting metal, this force field. And she's like able to sneak into one of the labs. They happen to drop her literally right into one of these labs, and she captures video footage of what's going on inside. It's pretty disturbing.
Oh God, oh no. We're gonna talk about it. Okay.
We see when she gets in there, she's like sending the video feedback up to Sam and Clover. And we just see walls lined with these cloning like pods. And we see young almost infant-like, like bald, curled up in like the fetal
Mm.
position, hooked up
No.
to all of these wires and stuff in these pods
Oh no.
lining the wall,
Oh
like
no.
submerged in some sort of fluid. They're all
No.
like asleep and just like floating inside of these pods.
Okay.
And the girls are like, what in
What
the
the
world
fuck?
is going on here? But right as Alex tries to get in closer, she feels something or someone grab her leg. And she's like, oh shit, guys, pull me up. Something's trying to get me.
Uh-huh.
And they start to rope her up to get the fuck out of there.
Uh-huh.
But just as they lift Alex up out of the lab, like this skylight that she went through in the lab, a swarm of military style helicopters surrounds them and opens fire, Grace. They start shooting at them.
Okay,
They
like
start
you're between a rock and a hard place. You either have terrifying alien replica baby things or open fire from a military. And
Mm-hmm.
also one of which creepy, terrifying, wet baby things has grabbed you, possibly.
Yes,
What do you
exactly.
what
What do you do?
what do you
They
do here?
fly. They quickly fly out of there. They fly out, but Alex is still
Okay.
like dangling from this rope below. So like also she's totally a target. Like she could so easily get blasted by any one of these
Yes.
helicopter bullets.
Oh my
Thankfully
God.
though, she doesn't. Sam proves to be very good at driving this jet
Okay.
because they're being chased all over this island and she's, swerving in and out and around these cliffs on the island, losing the evil helicopters. Maybe some of them like crash into the cliffs. I don't remember. I'm going to say they
Probably.
do, though, to make it seem more intense.
They
But
love
yeah,
explosions in this show.
they
They
do.
definitely crash.
They do, most likely. So once they get away, they lose the helicopters. They are officially off of the island grounds. They're able to pull Alex back up into the jet and they make their way back to Phoenix and
Okay.
thus their warehouse hideout so that they can review this footage and figure out what the hell is going on.
Yes.
But as they're flying back, they notice that Alex has like a fingernail on her leg from when she was grabbed in the cryo, like
Oh
cloning. I know it's
God.
gross. I fucking hate fingernails.
And I'm just picturing that these things are like just like not fully formed, so they like come apart so easily. And like, yeah.
Like, it's not just a fingernail, it's like 3 fingers are still just like dangling.
Yeah, like zombie, like, but like, ugh. And they're just,
Yeah.
you don't like this
It's
image.
gross. No. So they like pick this little fingernail off of her leg and they scan it. And they also notice that it's the fingernail is painted with a nice seafoam green polish, by the way.
Okay, noted.
And so they notice though that the fingernail is made of the same substance as the skin that they found at the bank. And they further realize that that skin and the fingernail are exact matches of Clover's DNA.
Oh shit. All right. Because originally I was like, why don't they just send that DNA to WOOHP and be like, test this, we're innocent.
Mm-hmm.
That would have hurt more than would have helped.
Oh my God, I must spit that shit out. Spit my tea out. Because could you imagine the big, like, see, Jerry, we're innocent. And then they like type some shit in and there's like imagine like a big monitor behind Jerry. And as soon as they say that, like Clover's picture pops up in like her DNA profile. And they're like, you are you sure?
That's when Sam and Alex turn on Clover.
Like,
She
did it. She did it. We can get it. There could be a new third spy. We don't need to have her. Yeah.
Get some other blonde in here. Dive a dozen in California.
Exactly.
Also, like the fact that something grabbed Alex's ankle, not like her shoulders or something, probably means something was crawling towards her, which is very disturbing. But also, like, aren't you concerned that someone was in trouble and needed help also? Maybe maybe it was someone being like, help me.
I'm a prisoner.
And then Sam just like curb stomped them and got out of there. Guys, pull me out. So
didn't even look, didn't even stop to look, didn't turn around, nothing. Just like, oh nope, someone's touching me. It's the enemy. Get the fuck out of here. Yeah. Boom.
Okay.
Out of my
cool.
face.
Cool.
Yes. So after seeing that the nail and the skin sample match Clover's DNA, Gross. Clover, rightfully so, freaks out. Mostly, though, about the fact that she would never be caught dead wearing seafoam green nail polish, but also about the fact that someone's out there trying to copy her or replicate her.
More concerning.
An imposter.
Clover.
Much more concerning. She's like, oh yeah, and that too, I guess. But before I go further, the episode takes us back to Replotech Island while the girls are like going through. So before I go further on their investigation, I will add this in. I won't bury the lead here.
Okay.
We see these imposters or replicants, I will start to call them, of Sam, Clover, and Alex entering this very classic, again, James Bond villain type of style, evil looking high-tech lair. And in a robotic voice, they inform someone in that layer that the intruders got away.
Oh.
And so we then see an evil-looking being of sorts standing on two legs in a fully white cloak with like a hood over it.
Okay.
And his face is covered in shadows. And all we see is a glowing red mechanized eyeball. And it's like his left eye. And he says, so, the spies are on to me. I underestimated them, but I won't let it happen again. And so they're dropping some hints here that this is the guy, not only who is the owner of Replotech Island, like, hey, look at you, great real estate, but also he's the guy who is somehow replicating these girls and
knew that these were spies.
And knew that they were spies. He seems to be familiar with Clover, Sam, and Alex, not only because he's been cloning them or replicating them, but because he's like, shit, they were here. I'm not going to let them do that again. Okay. So the girls get back to this trashed warehouse in Phoenix. Because remember, they fucking crashed through the ceiling. Like, so this makes it an easy landing this time.
Easily.
Yeah.
Back to the
land right through that nice gaping hole. And they continue to piece together the clues that they've gathered thus far. But just as they're like starting to put things together, like, okay, we've got identical DNA, we've got like weird cloning pods, we've got robberies, what's going on? Right as they're starting to get something out of that, a massive helicopter, another military style helicopter with missiles attached to it, crashes through the remaining ceiling of the warehouse. And these massive military tanks and like backhoes start to pile in, just like moving all the dirt and the rubble out of the way.
Oh shit.
And this time, though, it's Jerry and a bunch of armed WOOHP agents who are like piling out of these various vehicles and closing in on the girls. Because, yes, clearly that jet had a tracker. They were probably just waiting for them to get back to Phoenix. They're like, oh, shit, we're not going to Replotech Island. Like, we'll just wait shut down. Yeah, I'm not going to go there. They have a crazy defense system there. Why would we try to fight that? We'll just wait for them to get back to Phoenix.
Yeah.
And so over a megaphone, Jerry is telling the girls to give up and turn themselves in so that they can be reprogrammed. Ken is exactly what he calls it.
Not a good negotiator.
It's not. It's like, come on, it's fine. We just want to lobotomize you real quick. Just give yourselves up. It's okay. All the girls are doing it. So the girls, though, they're like, hell no. They scatter and they escape through the smoke and all of the fog created by the WOOHP vehicles just straight up like bursting into this warehouse.
Oh my God.
So Jerry's like, all right, agents, keep a tight perimeter. Don't let the girls get away. We need eyes on them. Clover, and like I said, the girls all split up. And so Clover, she runs behind the building and ducks for cover underneath this weird, like, almost like a Volkswagen style van, I want to say, that's just like parked back there. But she's like hiding underneath it. But just as WOOHP agents run by without seeing her, we then see the van door, again, very Ed Geinish, slide open.
Oh no.
And like a figure pulls her inside. Yeah.
Oh no.
But we do see though that it's someone wearing her red spy like cat suit. Okay. So we can assume it's a Clover imposter that like pulls her in. And Alex
Okay.
and Sam are hiding on the other side of the warehouse, and they like meet up because they're not too far from each other. And once they see that the coast is clear, they reconvene and plot their next move. And so Clover, or so they think, joins them, and they all duck behind a nearby dumpster while like
Okay.
WOOHP agents are like searching the perimeter and like the
Uh-huh.
premises, right? And so the girls are like, okay, we got to go back to Replitech Island to get to the bottom of all of this. But the security there was pretty intense. Like, that was tough getting away last time. So we've got to think of a way to infiltrate. And so Clover
Mhm.
tells the girls that she knows of a secret way into the facility. She saw it in the woods when they were there before, which at this point, if I were Sam or Alex, I'd be like, when did you see that? When were we by the woods? You never
Yeah.
pay attention to anything, first of all, but we were not by the woods.
Yeah, we were literally also being shot at by 100 U.S. military
Yeah.
helicopters.
Yeah.
You're checking out the
But
woods?
for whatever reason, they're like, okay, cool. But also, as they're planning all of this out, Clover is, other than just like what we just said there, she's acting strange, like straight up glitching and like shorting out in front of them.
Oh God, okay.
She's like repeating her sentences, and her like, you just see her whole like head shake and
Like,
stuff. Yeah.
they're like, Clover?
Clover, okay, you good, girl? It's just the stress. It's the stress of this warehouse just like literally like exploding pretty much.
Yeah.
So the girls, though, they're like, all right, well, we can't go back to the jet that we came here in because it's totally surrounded by WOOHP agents. So instead, they go even further rogue, a much deeper rogue, shade of rogue, if you will.
Okay.
They hijack Jerry's jet.
Oh no.
Because no one is guarding that, apparently.
Just the keys are in it.
Keys
It's
are in, it's
fine.
on, it's good, doors wide open. Come
Whoa.
on in, girls, take
Great.
it.
Great.
And so they take off and go right back to Replitech Island. And on the jet, the girls are talking, and Alex notices that Clover has chipped her seafoam green fingernails.
Mm.
And Clover brushes it off like, oh, it must have just happened when the warehouse collapsed, which also like crazy that you guys just fucking made a warehouse collapse, by the
And
way.
like definitely some WOOHP agents died there too.
Yeah.
Like without a doubt.
Yeah.
Like, yes.
Absolutely. Like, are these three worth it? Are they really worth
Yeah.
it, Jerry? But yeah, and that like they're so casual about it. Like, I know that this is the imposter Clover saying it, but Alex and Sam are like, oh yeah, you're probably right.
This
Yeah,
is the most realistic thing imposter Clover is doing is like, oh yeah, we just blew it up and some people died. So,
no big deal. I probably chipped my nail. Yeah, sure. So the girls, they land in the forest outside of the Replitech castle on the island, and they follow Clover to this secret passageway that's like deep in the woods that sends them correctly, though, directly into one of these cloning labs or these like cryo labs. But then this is when they start to really kind of question, not, as if there weren't enough clues already that something is off with this Clover.
Yeah.
This is when they really start to question, like, wait a minute, how did you know to lead us here to the secret entrance?
Yes. Also,
and
you
also
hate seafoam green.
Exactly. That's exactly what Alex says.
Yeah.
So Clover then literally starts to short circuit a little bit. But right as she does, all of the lights in the lab turn on, showing full-grown replicants. So thankfully not those little like test tube baby looking things. Yeah, like full-grown replicants of Sam, Alex, and Clover, just floating. Multiple. Again, it's like there are layers here. Like one floor is for the baby replicants. One floor is for like the teenage or like the young, what I guess like what do you call them? Toddlers, the kids, whatever. Like those replicants. This one, full on like normal size replicants of all of them floating in these massive pods, all hooked up to all these like cables and shit and tubes, just waiting to be activated.
Dude is obsessed with them.
Obsessed. It's creepy and crazy. So Sam and Alex, right when they like see all this shit and are freaking out quite a bit, understandably. The two of them are grabbed from behind by their replicants.
Oh no.
And when they turn them around, they see a legit army of their clones standing in front of them, blocking their way out of the lab, just ready for action, all in like their cat suits and like everything. So Alex is like, who and what are you guys? What is going on?
Who and what the fuck?
Yes, and why the fuck?
Yeah.
And a voice from above, there's like a bridge above them in this lab. A voice up there says, they're impressive, aren't they? I made them myself. And it's the same voice of that very menacing, cloaked, mechanical eye figure that we saw before. So the camera pans up and we see this mysterious man just like take his hood off or whatever. And it reveals that he's actually like this nice, deeply tan blonde guy with half of his face and body just covered in a metal robotic type of suit.
Okay.
So it's like Two-Face, but like metal instead of like burnt by acid.
Okay.
Whatnot from Batman.
Uh-huh.
So the camera pans up and we see, or sorry, I just read that line. I like accidentally scrolled back up. Ignore me.
It's like it keeps panning up.
We see the ceiling.
Beautiful skylight as another helicopter crashes.
I built it myself.
So we get a tour of the entire place. It's very nice, actually.
Yeah.
He sits them down for some tea.
Yeah, exactly. The camera pans up to their tea table. Just keep on panning. So this guy, he says that using strands of the girl's DNA, he was able to create the replicants with an incredible likeness to the spies. And Sam recognizes him, like after he says a few things and they hear his voice, and she kind of zooms in closer and like looks beyond the half metal side of him.
Uh-huh.
And she realizes that he's an evil villain that they had thwarted about a year ago.
Oh, shit.
Named Macker the Safecracker. And now I'm not sure if this is an episode. I've only watched your first episode, couple of episodes, mine. So
this is either.
I don't know if in between episode like 3 and 7, this guy popped
that's
up.
why I was like, it's the first season.
Yeah, I don't think so. But nonetheless, they say that they fought this guy about a year ago. And in an intense battle, the girls, they knocked him off of a bridge. But before he fell to his doom, he was able to like grab strands of all 3 of their hair. He was like holding their hair to not fall. Creepy. But he grabbed all of it, like chunks of all of them before falling and I guess not dying. They probably thought he was dead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, did WOOHP just be like, well, he's dead. Bye.
He's dead.
To go check.
Like, excuse me. No, you always recover the body.
Yes.
Always. You never assume.
Recovery.
Always.
Okay.
But also that these girls, who I guess at the time, if this was a year ago, like what were they, like 16 maybe? They're like, oh, guess we just killed that guy. All right, time to go back to school.
Oh my God, I have a test tomorrow. We got to go study.
Oh my God, Mandy's trying to steal my boyfriend.
Yeah, we'll just tell Jerry he died.
Yeah, exactly.
He won't double check.
Honestly, that's probably what happened. WOOHP probably does have a policy of like always check for the body before we confirm death. And they're like look down like, that's a pretty far fall. We have a test tomorrow. Mandy's trying to steal my boyfriend. We'll tell Jerry we looked for him. It's fine.
Yeah, we'll tell him he's like definitely dead. Let's go.
It's like their secret pact that they've been holding to this day, the 3 of them.
That's how they'll actually test whether or not that's like you're a clone. Be like, did he actually die or not? And now they're like, oh no, what do we say now?
Oh no, all of the clones like short circuit. So Macker explains though that dangerous fall, it didn't kill him, but it did take a massive toll on him, leading to his half-robotic body. And then he tells the girls that he was able to escape prison. So actually, okay, that's a good point. He did get locked up eventually. But I don't think it was by WOOHP though. Like they would know if he escaped a WOOHP prison. So someone else came in and got him, whatever. Okay. And once he escaped prison, he used their hair samples to create the replicants that are now surrounding him. And he will destroy the girls' lives. just as they tried to destroy his.
This is all in a year. He is an entrepreneur.
He is, and he's clearly like a super freaking genius.
Yes.
Like he must have stolen so much money from, I mean, he's a safecracker, yes, but like,
oh yeah, that's a good point.
First of all, like you gotta make yourself a robotic half. Like that's pretty time consuming.
Yes, that's a lot to begin with, no less. Yeah. Buy an island, create an LCC, a Replitech, build
get all this tech
in the castle.
I guess his first thing was like creating some like worker drones or something, like clones, to just like, all right, make these pods for me.
How did he hold on to all the hair that long? They do strip searches when he goes to jail. Tucked the hair into his own.
There's like black and red little strands.
Nothing to see here.
Don't worry.
Well, okay. Ambition.
But I would also like to say though that I feel like this is the best motive that we've had so far for any of the villains in this show. Like everyone else, we're always just saying like, dude, who hurt you? But in this case, it's clear these spies hurt this dude bad.
Well, and also that like his previous criminal career is like a normal criminal career of a safecracker.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's the most stable for sure.
Put a pin in that.
I mean,
but yeah, like generally speaking,
he definitely got some concussions during that fall that made him go to this.
That and probably like all the robotic shit going on in his brain. He's lost it at this point.
Yes.
But we do learn that he kind of has the same-ish motivations as he did before. Aside from all the cloning stuff and everything and being obsessed with these spies, he explains to the girls that he's going to use these spies to essentially, after he, locks up the girls in a jail cell, he's going to load all these spies up into various jets in his lair, and he's going to send them off to central banks around the world, every central bank, I think he says, and he's going to command these clones, these replicants, to rob each of these central banks at the exact same time. Which, I mean, apparently, though, he's definitely lost his shit because he clearly doesn't understand how alibis work. Like, at some point, every central bank is going to realize they've been robbed, and when they go through the footage and the evidence, they're going to be like, wait, how could these girls all
be here
at the same place, literally at the same time?
Also, are you, Rob, like, speaking of time changes, a bank in Japan is not open at the same time as a bank in New York.
Also a good point.
Why don't you just wait until night or only the daytime? What's the plan?
You just do one by one. Why do you have to?
Yeah.
Whatever. So, like I said, he's
concussions.
Yeah. Hard wiring, everything. Something's not right. His RAM is a little slow. Something like that. So, yeah, he orders the clones to take off in the jets. And Macker throws the real spies into a holding cell while he makes his way to his command center, casually located in the French Alps.
Oh, what? So he leaves them on the island?
Yes. And I don't know where this island is. Maybe.
I guess maybe it is that one.
Maybe it is Mont Saint Michel. Maybe it is. He stole it from the monks.
He wouldn't have to.
And the nuns.
The monks built everything for him under duress. He didn't have to build the castle from scratch at that point, which was part of, again,
he just had to clear out the village.
Yeah. It was a surprising timeline, but that makes so much more sense. The infrastructure was already there.
True. That's a good point. But also, for some reason, like, this is my second episode now where they're in the French Alps. Or was it the Swiss? I think it was the French Alps last time for me. Yeah. Anyway, whatever. So when the girls get to their holding cell and Clover is already in there, the real Clover, because like I said, she was indeed kidnapped back at the warehouse in Phoenix. And they immediately start to make an escape plan so that they can stop Macker before he starts to carry out this ridiculous crime. Absolutely ridiculous.
Yep.
So they revert back to their same old tricks. They take Clover's boots, they crack the glass out of in the cell with the spurs on the boots, and they bust out of there. And so I guess they get their jetpack or something, or they steal one of Macker's.
They're good at it now.
Yeah, apparently
it's like a jet.
The third jet they've stolen in one day.
Third time's the charm.
And it is true. That's why there are 3 of them as well. That's why this all works so well. They make their way to the Alps. They're like in their winter cat suits or whatever, and they're at the top.
Where'd you even get those?
They're in the jet. I don't know.
Yeah.
So maybe they did actually just get their jet back, because there's no way this would be. Although, Macker probably did have some.
Oh, that's true, actually. He's got all their fits.
Yeah, he's like, Sam is this size. And she would like this kind of fur around her neck. So you see him like sewing.
Yeah. But he only has a year. He's got those monks sewing.
He's like testing it on the clones, like, turn around. Here, let's take you up in this a little bit. Take
it in a little bit here, out a little bit here. Because can you karate chop? With that, there have shoulder motion.
Jump. Monks? Let me see you jump.
Monks, come on. Are you taking notes on this?
Carry materials in for him. Yeah. So
I'm just like picturing like the mice and Cinderella, like bringing all of the like fabric in, but it's a bunch of French monks to this robot man, and they're like all crying still.
It's like on their knees.
Please.
So the girls, they're in the Alps. They're like scoping out Macker's command center from the top of a mountain, looking through some binoculars. And they see him in there controlling the clones with the transmitter. And so we then are shown Macker's video feed that shows these clones or these replicants all over the world, heavily armed, getting ready to bust into a number of banks. Like they're rolling up in these big vans, they're popping out of the vans, they've like got guns drawn, they're just waiting for Macker to pretty much press the button. And so Sam and Clover, they decide to snowboard towards the command center to create a diversion, causing a number of the armed clone guards. This now sounds like Star Wars. Fucking Attack of the Clones.
Attack of the Clones. Yep.
Yes. Chase after them in this intense snowboard ride down the mountainside, because they're like, you guys look like us, but do you guys have the same spy skills as us? Yeah, exactly. And no, they can't. The replicants, they cannot. Macker did not get that far in his replicating.
Okay.
Because these clones, they're all just like falling off of crevices in the mountain and just like, I guess, to their death/destruction, also, since they aren't like alive. I don't think.
And Clover and Alex need so much therapy. They just like watched themselves die 100 times behind them.
Yeah, a lot. Like they're just standing over the crevice, like as the clones are just like boom, 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 boom. It's like, I don't know if this is satisfying or not.
Yeah, this seems wrong. Let's just keep snowboarding.
Okay, let's go. Therapy later. Whatever. We'll figure it out later. So meanwhile, while they're doing that diversion, Alex has hiked towards the command center. She's on foot. And she sneaks up to this like large transmitter tower, and she just starts like ripping the wiring out of it and just like disconnecting Macker's feed and his control over the replicants. And so Macker, realizing that something is wrong with the system, he races outside and he finds Alex out there just at work destroying the transmitter. He grabs hold of her, but she's like fighting him off and like trying to shake free of him. And since they're like in the Alps on a mountain, it's snowy, and they like slide and like slip in the snow and start just like careening down this mountainside, like just falling down. Both of them. He's like still holding on to her. So they're like rolling and like sliding down together.
Okay.
So Alex, though, she's able, or I shouldn't say able, she ends up like crashing into this snow embankment, and Macker just like slides right over her.
Oh, shit.
and falls into
Again?
the crevice. Yes, again. It's probably so traumatizing for him. He's like, no.
Again, we always say the psychological damage of rebringing up traumas is the most harmful to these villains.
And here it is happening.
Oh,
it's
no.
like the girls planned for this. It's like Alex saw the crevice coming and was like, "Ooh, I'm just gonna like hop off here and let you go on down, buddy."
But they need to check this time that he's actually dead.
And actually what happens though is just as Alex like catches her breath and realizes that she's free, we see a WOOHP helicopter lifting a net full of replicants and Macker, the same Macker, out of the crevice. So they're like no, we're yes, it's literally like a fish net. So I'm like, did they plant that down there?
Yeah.
I don't know. And then whatever.
Jerry's
I don't know.
always on top of it.
He is. And so nonetheless, though, they're like, we're confirming for a fact that the body is here this time, dead or alive.
Yes.
Actually, I can't confirm that he is alive, that Macker is alive.
Oh,
like you see all these replicants and then you just see like Macker's robotic leg hanging out of the net. So like it's not moving. Like he might be dead.
Oh,
I
no.
don't know.
Also of thinking like I wasn't even thinking about the fact of like upon impact, metal car parts can just like explode in a car crash.
The shrapnel.
And, like, fall apart. Yeah. So half of his body just became like, shrapnel.
It's actually like
ripped out from him.
It's actually only the robotic part that they've recovered. The other half of this man is just lying down at the bottom of this crevice.
Slowly, like
horrifying. Oh, yes. Horrifying.
Oh my God.
So shortly after this WOOHP helicopter flies away,
he becomes the Yeti of the French Alps.
the one-legged, one-armed Yeti. That was actually would be like more terrifying.
Yeah, the half Yeti of the French Alps.
Yeah. I'm not going to describe it more.
Nope, disgusting. Go on.
Okay, yeah, we'll keep going. So after this helicopter flies away with the evidence and or the deceased, Sam and Clover, they snowboard down towards Alex. And they see that Jerry is like actually coming down the mountainside as well in this like, it's like a combo of like a tank and a snowmobile type thing. It's again, super intense WOOHP technology. And so the girls convene and Jerry steps out of this vehicle. He's like adjusting his tie, but the girls are like not ready to like talk to him because they still think that he's trying to lobotomize them. Yeah. And so they just start like throwing snowballs at him, like rapid fire. Yeah. And he's like, no, like it's cool, girls. I'm sorry. I realize that we were wrong. I'm apologizing to you. We know now that you're innocent and that it was Macker behind the evil plot the entire time. And Clover is still pissed. She's like, oh, well, guess we're lucky that you figure that out before lobotomizing us.
That would be pissed too.
Yeah, was a bit too close there, Jer Bear. A bit too close.
Yeah. A single apology is not enough.
It's not enough. And that's what Alex says. She's like, yeah, dude, you're going to be, what did she say? Like, you're going to be collecting your pension checks by the time you're done making it up to us. Like, and they just keep like throwing snowballs at him, like obviously kind of jokingly at this point, but still fucking pissed at him.
Yes.
And so that's pretty much the end. Besides, like, I guess the next day, Clover and Mandy continue to squabble over this new Texas boy who's just moved to town, but he like walks into school with his actual girlfriend who's dressed in like super like postmodern attire, like nothing cowgirl-esque at all. And he's like, isn't she great? She's so original. And yeah, like that's the end.
Original.
Pretty much.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Wow. That was a full fucking James Bond film.
Straight up.
In like a 25-minute episode.
When I was watching this, I was like, I would love for this to just be like Totally Spies 2, like the second movie. It would have been amazing. Like, add like another 45 minutes or something onto that of like some more action and the whole backstory with Macker, the safecracker.
Yeah. And like, one, great job. Two, I am like, get really stressed out when it's like clone things because I'm always like, oh God, the stressful thing's gonna happen where like you have to prove that you're the real one and like automatically get so stressed out about it. So it's a very stressful episode.
You see like Alex pointing a gun at like two Sams, like, which one are you? Which one is it? Who is it?
She's got two guns.
Yeah.
Which one? Which one are you?
Yeah. Did we kill Macker that day?
Did we think we murdered that one villain? Wait, which one though? We do that every time.
That's literally every week.
Wow, that was bonkers. Yeah. Great job.
Thank you.
Wow, yeah. I mean, they got WOOHP's got to lock down their security, as does whoever is about to hold at least the robot half of this villain.
You just see some poor like Alps freaking sheep herder, goat herder or something out like walking his goats through the crevice, like at the bottom of this valley, enjoying the day. And then he just like sees this half of a man like drags him along with it.
That's the start of a fucking horror movie. Yeah. Like the sheep herder ends up being the actual villain. The sheep herder is the French Ed Gein.
It's like Frankenstein style. Like he tries to bring him back to life, and Macker comes back as like an even more brutal, horrendous, horrific monster.
The monks, like the sheep herders, like the shepherds, like the monks have been whispering about a monster like this.
All the monks in town are just like shivering. They see him bringing this person's half of a person back.
Yeah, he's back. Oh, man. He'll never leave us. There is no God.
No. Lose all faith immediately.
Honestly, that would be a great fucking French horror film. I would not watch that, but I would tell you about it. Probably watch it.
You'd read the synopsis on Wikipedia.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Wow. Great job.
Nice. Thank you. But yeah, next week we'll be back with another ridiculous episode of the Totally Spies, another crazed, absolutely ridiculous, over the top villain. I'm sure there's no shortage of them in this show. So until then, who should they tell about this podcast? I think in the spirit of clones, you should tell any twins. Bird, you got a lot in your family. Any twins or call my dad real
triplets?
Quick.
Yeah, I'll call your Uncle Terrell.
Cool.
Quadruplets.
They tell each other.
Yeah.
They both already know. But yeah.
Yeah. Any set of those octuplets, et cetera, et cetera. Tell them about this show.
Nice. That's good.
And then who else?
Tell some monks. I think if you can find any, hopefully they're not scarred by anything like Macker the Safecracker.
Yeah, and
I think so too.
We need more shows.
Another demo.
Let's have a monk demo. And you know what? We're that podcast.
Exactly. They might not like a lot of the stuff we've said, particularly about religion in the past, but hey. We're open. Exactly. We are open to constructive criticism as long as you subscribe, like, share, comment, and don't stop listening. So.
Exactly. All right. Great. Well,
cool.
We'll see y'all
until next week.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks for tuning in to Saturday Morning Mysteries.
If you enjoyed this episode, please share, rate, review, leave us a like, and drop a comment. We post episodes every Saturday and bonus tune tangents whenever we feel like it. So please subscribe so you don't miss the shenanigans.
And if you want to follow us on YouTube, click the bell under the YouTube subscribe button to receive notifications when new videos are posted.
And if you want to subscribe to the podcast, we have no idea what you're listening to us on. So just hit the big subscribe button on whatever app you're using. We believe in you.
Give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram at SatmornMist, all the abreves, and let us know if you have any episode or show requests by emailing SaturdayMorningMysteries@gmail.com.
Thanks to Jenna Kendall for the logo design and to Ava Sakiki for the music used during this week's episode.
See y'all groovy kids next week on Saturday Morning Mysteries.